Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. It's great to be back here, even though it's still virtual. I truly wish we were meeting in person, and I hope that we do next year. I miss seeing every one of you. I miss interacting with all of you guys in person. Before I get into my topic, I want to thank the Cloudbazaar team and Manish for all their continued work in making this one of the most premier events in the industry. It is truly a pleasure and an honor to be associated with this event and to be here again talking to all of you. So, when Manish and team told me that the theme of the event is centered around e-commerce, um, I started thinking as the operator of .org, what is it that we can talk about that would be very valuable and helpful to you, our partners, and in turn, your customers? And it struck that with everything going on and with the evolution of e-commerce and just online presence, the line between doing good and doing well and financially is blurring. They're not mutually exclusive, and it's technically becoming one thing. You don't have to do either or. And when I thought about that, it made total sense for us and me to talk about cause marketing or cause-based marketing and its impact on e-commerce. In this day and age, the thoughtful are truly the most successful. So, while preparing this presentation, I came across this definition of cause marketing, and this sums it up pretty well. It is about putting your marketing efforts behind an idea, a cause, or a goal that speaks to you, your company, or your product, as opposed to a specific product or service that you may or may have. So, why are we talking about cause marketing right now? It's not as if it's a new concept. This concept has been around for decades, right? Well, with all that is going on in the world and the way our marketplace, buying behavior, and habits are impacting our way of life, it is apt at the moment for us and your customers to look at cause marketing as an avenue of growth and as also as an avenue of differentiation. Um, Cause marketing in terms of e-commerce is not just simply the act of giving back or doing donations or taking donations. It's about incorporating the cause throughout all facets of an organization's e-commerce strategy and online strategy, right from cross-platform campaigns to loyalty programs to simply making it part of the DNA of the organization. Over the next few slides, I'm going to share a few statistics that showcase the impact of this type of marketing and how it can help you and in turn your customers to advance their business and their mission in this world of rapidly evolving e-commerce space. So, a brand associated with a cause will enable a potential consumer to switch to their brand from another. This has gone up from 66% to 79% in the past few years. And this, in the age of e-commerce, in the age of online presence, is very important. Not only does the association with a cause help attract new customers, but it also impacts customer loyalty and in turn lifetime profits by 85%. This is huge, right? Especially our current era with so many organizations trying to differentiate themselves. And also in our business, where our business is based on renewal and recurring revenue. So it's not just about bringing in a new customer, but it is about maintaining the customer loyalty and making sure that we fulfill all their needs. And also there's an association. This also serves as a unique differentiator, as I mentioned before. A cost-based company earns an average of $9 more per customer than its competitors. The next point that I'm going to make will tie in why they make more than a non-cost-based company. Millennials, a favorite topic. We know that millennials, out of all the different generations, conduct the maximum number of online shopping transactions by a mile. In addition, in 2020, just in the US, Millennials accounted for 30% of total retail sales, 30%, making them one of the biggest, if not the biggest customer segment for all of us. 71% of millennials are willing to pay more for something if they know that their money is going towards a good cause. 71%. This is the largest base of current and future customers. This is huge. Finally, taking cause-based marketing a step further. I spoke about cause marketing is not just about doing donations or making donations, but adding a donation widget or a donation ability to take a donation at checkout increases the average order value by a whopping 29%. Now, the statistics are there to back up the potential success of cause-based marketing. In the next slide, I'm going to share a few insights on how you can successfully run a cause-based marketing campaign for your e-commerce. But before I do this, it is important for me to note that the cause has to be meaningful. It has to be associated with the company. It has to be associated with the ethos or with what the organization is trying to do, or it has to be something that is close to the founder, CEO, or the team. Just undertaking a cause-based marketing campaign because it's the new thing, it's the in thing, and that it might result in better financial results will definitely not work out. It will, in fact, result in negative returns and impact your business in the short and the long term. So please, whenever you are um, consulting with your customers, work with them to figure out what is a cause that's close to their company and them, and then figure out how do you incorporate this into their marketing approach. So these are the 5 elements that will help you build a solid foundation for a cause marketing campaign. But again, find the right cause that works for you, your company, your customers, your product and service. I'm going to go through each one of these and tie them back into how you can use these. Number 1, keep the message inspiring but simple. Should be able to connect with your current and future customers in 1 to 2 lines. And it should be something that cuts across all the different platforms that your customer has a presence on, especially in the e-commerce space. Number 2, a picture says 1,000 words. We have heard this, and it is definitely true here. Especially when it comes to storytelling, right? Because cause-based marketing is also all about talking about what is it that you guys stand for and how that weaves into your business. Number 3, there is a big trend with only online stores going into offline presence also. And this is where the whole physical element comes into play. A customer or a potential consumer will feel the connection if he or she can see something that's physically there in his or her daily routine. Number 4, connecting with your audience is one thing. Getting them to be part of your journey is a completely different thing and a much more impactful thing. Try and get your audience not just to buy from you, but also to help you promote what you're trying to do, also to help you on your journey of impacting change, making them part of it, making them feel a part of it. And number 5, lastly, all big issues get tackled by incremental small engagements. You know, the cause does not need to be big or earth-shattering. Even if it's a small cause, it's still impactful, right? So put all of those things together, and you definitely have a recipe for success with cause marketing, especially in the e-commerce space. What I want to do next is I want to share a few examples of companies that have done this successfully and something that will allow you to take learnings from them and incorporate for your customers. We call them the OGs. We looked at why cause marketing, how does it potentially help you and your customers to succeed? Now let's look at some of these companies. These are household brands, right? The brands that you see on the screen, you probably heard of all of them. but I don't think you would probably necessarily associate them with cost-based marketing. So let's go through a few of them and peel back a few of the layers to see how they are using cost-based approach for their business. So I want to start off with Pepsi. This is one of the first companies to undertake a cost marketing campaign. Pepsi gave up its coveted spot in the Super Bowl, not just a spot. They gave up a few spots in the uh, Super Bowl marketing arena. And this is after they had a streak of 23 years where they had a Super Bowl ad every year. And for marketeers in the audience, you know that this is the holy grail. They gave it up to undertake a campaign to give back to its communities, and it worked wonders. They not only engaged their customers and communities, but they also got well-known sports associations and agencies to partner with them. um, their campaign is rated one of the top 5 social media campaigns ever by Forbes. And not only that, if you look at the numbers on the screen, they directed over $23 million to fund 760 ideas. This truly is cause marketing and impacting change. So while Pepsi, as a brand that has been around for such a long time, gave up its Super Bowl spots, Airbnb, a relatively new company in comparison to Pepsi, actually did something different, completely different, or the opposite. They used its access to the Super Bowl ad and in turn its reach to effect change. This not only helped Airbnb get a thought leader's voice and presence, but also get goodwill with the larger community. And this still continues to pay dividends for them. And not only that, they actually walked the talk. They started making changes to the company policies based on their costs, which again goes a long way because this is not just marketing approach. It is they are making it part of their DNA. So most of you guys have heard about the ice bucket challenge, right? I mean, I did that too, and I'm sure a lot of you took part in this challenge. This one is a different one from both Pepsi and Airbnb. This is a campaign that saw companies, organizations, individuals, celebrities take part in the challenge and in turn the cause that helped not only with raising awareness, but raising funds. While there was no direct impact on the business of different companies and organizations taking part, it did positively impact its customers and community members. And it gave a sense of relationship, it gave a sense of belonging, and gave a sense of, okay, I'm supporting a company that supports more than just the profit or the bottom line. So this is a great example, another great one of using cost-based marketing to reposition a company's brand and image and become more inclusive. Dove successfully used its reach and voice to challenge the way beauty was defined and in turn bring in more new customers into its fold. At the same time, spending less on traditional marketing and still seeing very positive returns. This is my favorite one. While this clothing company has nothing to do with endangered species, this campaign is a classic example of partnership done right. They use their brand's association and image and partnered up with a nonprofit that actually works in the space of endangered species. Lacoste used its prominent and well-known logo to draw attention to a major issue, and in doing so positively impacted its business, its reach, its image, customer loyalty, and they probably got more customers just based on what they were trying to do. And they got awareness to an issue um, that's been around. So now all the examples I gave you above were for big, well-known brands. However, if this is done right, it will work well for any size of organization. And you might be thinking, why should you or your customers consider this approach? And it's an extremely valid question. I'm going to give you 3 reasons in the next 3 slides on why it's the right thing to do. The biggest one, it is the right thing to do. because we individually and collectively need to start impacting change, not just from social perspective, but from an economical perspective too. We need to start paying attention to the state of affairs across the board. The residual effect of this is your brand gets to be able to differentiate itself, connect with customers in a way it's not done before, and have a positive impact on the business while having a positive impact on the world. It gives this sense of belonging to your customers too. And honestly, everyone likes to support a company that does good and in turn be associated with it. They will find their success in yours. It is a feel good story all around. Again, if it's done right and with the right cause. So before I close off, I wanted to share a few things about what we at PIRN.org are doing and what our mission is, and how does this whole cause-based approach, not just marketing, just cause-based approach, fit in with our business, our organization, and honestly, frankly, our DNA. Our belief is that more and stronger mission-driven organizations, individuals make the world a better place. As .org, we want to play our part in helping nonprofits, mission-driven organizations, social ventures, social enterprises, even cause-based for-profit businesses to succeed online and have the right online presence and identity. And what do I mean by online presence and identity? A domain name is a critical function, be it a professional email, be it your website, be it your marketing campaigns. It is a critical function. And through cause-based marketing, an org speaks the value of your cause, not just the value of your business. And we want to work towards that. We want to work with you and your partners to enable them to create a holistic 360-degree strategy that enables them to successfully undertake cause-based marketing and in general, just e-commerce and be successful. Lastly, our part of course is 50 cents of every dollar goes to free and open internet. And that's our cause. We run one of the largest TLDs, and we want to make sure it's accessible to anyone and everyone who's trying to have a positive impact and do well. So I really, really hope that all of you guys enjoyed this presentation, that you were able to take away good insights into cause-based marketing, good statistics, learnings from the case studies that we shared. And hopefully, you have an additional arsenal in your bag to help your customers succeed in this ever-changing landscape of e-commerce. And frankly, an extremely competitive landscape. So if there's anything we as PIRN.org can do to help you and your customers succeed, please reach out to me. Please reach out to my team. We would love to sit down with you and figure out ways of running campaigns, figure out ways of how to support you. Lastly, I want to wish every one of you good health and safety. Take care. And hopefully next year, we are doing this in person. We are getting together and celebrating everything that we are doing. Thank you and have a good one.
Hi, Anand. Would you like me to read out the questions?
Hey, Meenal. No, I mean, sure. You can read out. I can read out. There's some good questions in the Q&A, so excited to answer those too.
Okay, awesome. So we'll just take the first one. What, according to you, are the key social areas where a business can contribute to have maximum impact?
Yeah, and as I said, great question. I do want to point out that, I mentioned in my presentation that your cause does not need to be big. It does not need to be tackling one of the big ones, right? So there are 17 social areas that the world collectively has identified, and if you want to find those, you can go to UNICEF. And they have those, right? So I can read some of them. It's no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitization. The list goes on. There are 17 of those. You can pick one of those, but again, right, it has to be something that's meaningful to you, meaningful to your audience, and that something that you truly can work towards. So it can also be as simple as it can be an internal or an external cause. And the internal example of an internal cause would be, hey, equal pay to both men and women in your company, or providing everyone universal healthcare. So, you don't need to, again, coming back, you don't need to look at what is that big social issue out there and do I align myself to that? Because one way or the other, you will end up aligning to one of the big ones, no matter what you do. I hope I answered that question.
That was great, Anand. Next one we have from Yashesh, who's asking us, while big companies can generate a strong word of mouth for their cause related marketing, and this is interesting, do you think small businesses can also succeed with their limited budget and small ROI? And considering our audience, I think this is super relevant to everyone.
I I I I love this question, Yashesh. A great question, and I'm going to draw an analogy to um, I'm going to draw an analogy to the nonprofit world and the mission-driven world, right? Where we.org and PIR come from. If you go to see, not majority of the nonprofits or mission-driven organizations are small to medium size, and they have been successful in raising funds. They have been successful with their approach, with their mission. So yes, while bigger companies have the reach, the smaller companies still have the ability to do that. It is finding your tribe, building your tribe. I mean, think about how this works with, and this I'm drawing again from the previous presentation from Mr. Biswa, where he was talking about the fastest growing e-commerce segment in India is groceries. I mean, if you go to see grocers in India, they're not all big. It's the smaller ones that are making strides. So, and then they have figured out what their unique selling point is. They have figured out what their uniqueness is. So I don't think it's only the bigger ones that can do cause. I actually think it's the smaller ones collectively that make a bigger impact. So it's building. It's similar to building when a nonprofit goes out there that has an idea and a mission and that wants to build a following or a member base or an association. You draw the analogy to a smaller one trying to push their business with the cause that they have.
Great, Anand. I think sort of similar. The next one is that while, yeah, I think if someone has asked again something very similar, which is,
Yep.
It seems
So
beneficial for large enterprises, but how can cause-related marketing benefit a web professional or a digital marketing agency?
yep. So two things to that. One is, the web professionals and digital marketing agencies. It is to walk the talk before you can help your customers walk the talk too, right? And it is possible. I'll give you a good example of a agency over here, which is called Social Drive. When I say here, Washington DC, which is where I'm from, it's called Social Driver. It's right now one of the most well-known agencies, marketing agencies in the DC area. But it was started by two people, and their cause-based approach was um, speaking up for the rights of LGBTQ community, and they basically built around their entire approach to serving those customer segments, and they have become now a big force to reckon with. So even if you're small, you can look at your customer base. You might be serving, let's say, I'm going back again to grocer. You might be serving grocers or the F&B industry. Figure out what your cause is. It might be reducing food wastage, or it might be implementing recycling or being better for the environment. Figure that out and then find out how can you implement in your business, but also at the same time help your customers who fall in that vertical to implement similar causes, provided it works for them.
Thank you, Anand. I think there's a last one. Micro Mishra is asking, how do you differentiate it from CSR?
So I think CSR is defined a bit more narrowly. Corporate social responsibilities defined a bit more narrowly. Plus, it's not, at least not yet, CSR hasn't been completely weaved into the DNA of a company. Cost-based approach, cost-based marketing encompasses a bit of CSR also, because it is telling the story to the end user of what a company or an organization is doing. So CSR is one of the verticals. Cost-based marketing is the vehicle to talk about one of those verticals.
Awesome. That's all we have for today.
These are great questions, Milan and the audience. I really hope everyone enjoyed the talk. And Meenal and team, thank you for putting this together. I appreciate it.